Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson, Thistle Gypsy, here with a walkthrough of one of my tried and true decks. And I could have sworn that maybe I had just talked about this deck in another video, like, my card reading history or something like that. Maybe I had drug it out. I thought I'd made a review of it at some point. But the last time I went looking for that review, it didn't exist. So I did a purging, I think it was last fall or some time ago. Maybe it was longer ago than that. My sense of time is not great. So maybe I accidentally deleted it at that time, but I definitely want something like that on my channel. I want to honor these cards for the time that I have spent with them. And there's one other deck I'll be doing that with as well. So this is the first, I don't know if it's the first edition, but it's the first round of these cards that had 44 cards. I understand that the deck has been augmented since, and I have hemmed and hawed about whether to get the deck that has the additional cards, but I haven't yet. And I have lots of animal decks, so I don't know if I'll get the newer version of the medicine cards or not. Certainly, I felt like there were some glaring omissions, but there are so many animals in the world, that you can always say in any animal deck that there are glaring omissions. So, what can you do? So, this is the book from that time. And what I'll do, I'm just going to do a walkthrough of the cards, and then I will pull a card and do a reading of what's in here, because I think it's worth hearing what's in the guidebook. So I'm not going to be able to show you quite. Yeah, there's a picture and a little saying sort of thing, saying poemy sort of thing that doesn't usually do much for me, but and then there's a picture of the picture that's on the face of the cards. And then there's usually 2 to 3 pages of text. And this is somebody written by, so here we go. There's a contrary meaning, so you can do it reversed. You can read reversals with this deck if you choose to. And this is written by Jamie Sams, with the artist Angela Wernicke. And I believe it's, what is it? Jamie Sams is a Native American medicine teacher and a member of the Wolf Clan Teaching Lodge of the Seneca Nation. She is of Iroquois and Choctaw descent. So there you go. And it goes on, there's more. She has definitely engaged her native traditions. So here we go. Let's look through the cards. They are not in order any longer, and since I was going to pull a card at the end, I decided not to put them in order. But to give you some idea of what's in this 44 card deck. So we have lizard, and so on the card itself, you just have the name of the animal, but within the book, each animal has a keyword. I'm pretty sure that lizard is dreaming. So you see there's a keyword here. So just to test my memory. So I did that thing that I'm sure other people, yep, it's dreaming for lizard, that other people are guilty of, which is that you get new decks, and in my case a lot of new decks most recently, and the tried and true gets kind of put on the shelf. And I'm trying to amend that these days and get back to this. So there's whale. And we'll see. We'll test my memory. I'm pretty sure that whale is memory, and turkey is giveaway. Hummingbird is joy. Coyote, I don't know if it's just trickster. Pretty sure. And there isn't in this version, I was going to say, wouldn't it be nice if there was a little quick reference, but there isn't. Yep, coyote is trickster. Hawk is messenger, I'm pretty sure. Hawk is the frequency with which hawk, yes it is messenger, turned up for me over the years has ended up with my sister, who is probably the only person I really shared readings with prior to becoming a reader for others. She was the person I did readings with and talked about them with. She began to think of me as Hawkwoman because this card would turn up for me so often. Crow, which is law, as in sacred law or cosmic law. Butterfly, I'm pretty sure, is transformation. Horse, I believe, is power, which just goes to show you. I haven't been using this. Yep. Grouse, I think, is the spiral dance. So it's something that the keyword isn't very helpful. The sacred spiral. Weasel. I can't remember what weasel is. Stealth. Porcupine, I'm pretty sure, is innocence. It's a card that would come up for me regularly. Yep. Dragonfly, illusion. Sorry, my light isn't very good right now. We're having, oh, that would help, wouldn't it? There we go. Raven, I believe, is magic. Since I'm doing so well, I'm not going to check everyone. Wolf, I believe, is teaching or teacher. Lynx, I believe, is secrets. Yes. Snake, transfiguration. I'll double check. Snake. Yep. Nope. Transmutation. Transmutation. Turtle. I don't know if it's grounding. What is turtle? Mother Earth. Dolphin, I believe, is breath. I think I need this now. Manna. M-A-N-N-A. Manna, which is the breath of life. Okay. Squirrel is gathering. Moose. I know it has to do with self-esteem, but I don't remember if that's the keyword on it. Yes, self-esteem. Otter, I believe, is playfulness. Nope, it's woman medicine. So it's more like flirtatiousness. Dog, I believe, is the traditional loyalty. Yep. Spider. Gosh, I don't remember what spider is. Weaving. Elk, I believe, is stamina. or endurance. That's one that kept coming up for me. Because of a lack thereof, a constant reminder to take it really slow. Yep, stamina. Swan. Again, I can't quite remember the wording. I remember what it's about. Grace. It's more about traveling to other realms, but it was called Grace. Mouse is scrutiny, looking very closely at things. Badger. I know it's about using, maybe it's about medicine. I know it's about the aggressive, attacking a situation aggressively, but yep, it's aggressiveness. So it's like aggressive healing. Antelope. That has to do with speed. Action. Action. It's all about do it now. Don't wait. Do it now. Possum. I don't think is it deception? It has to do with it playing dead. Diversion. There it is. Diversion. Skunk. Yeah, I believe the key word is reputation. Having a stinky reputation in this case. Yes, it is reputation. Deer is gentleness. So one of the ways that I'm keying in and remembering when I have such a poor memory, in addition to, working with the cards for so many years, is that the keywords are associated with a story. And so some of the time as I'm flipping through these, I'm remembering the story. And it's by remembering the story that I'm going, ah, yes. Ah, yes, there was that story of the deer with the monster. And yes, gentleness was the solution. And so the stories that are attached to the animals in the book are helpful. So eagle, spirit. I knew it was about communicating with higher realms, but spirit. Buffalo, I believe, is abundance. Prayer and abundance. So kind of the ask and you shall receive. Mountain lion, I believe, is leadership. Yes. Fox is camouflage. Ant, I believe, is patience. Yes. Rabbit, I believe, is fear. Yes. Owl, this is the card of deception right here. Owl. Bear is my spirit totem animal. I think it's introspection. Yep, introspection. But I can't, but I couldn't remember the word because to me bear is everything. Armadillo. Boundaries, I think. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, boundaries. Frog is cleansing. Beaver, I think, is building. Where are you? Builder, yep. And bat, I believe, is rebirth. Yep. Okay. So there they are. So what I'm going to draw a card on, I'm just going to, because I already shuffled, I'm just going to split the deck and I'm going to pick whatever card is on top. And that is going to apply to my, to stress at work. What I'm wanting from this deck is advice for when work gets stressful. Okay, what is my advice for when work gets stressful? Rebirth might be one of them because it wasn't wanting to come up with the rest of the deck. So what do we have? Oh, scrutiny. So we have Mousy and the scrutiny card. And that is 20. Which means to essentially to look really closely. So over on this side, we have this little thing here. So I'll read this and then I'll read this. And so it might be telling me, the reverse meaning might even apply most to my current situation. I will read all of it. Mouse, if I could see the world through your tiny eyes, maybe then I would know how to scrutinize. So it rhymes. Every detail carries weight and, true to its purpose, has its perfect puzzle place to stop the three-ring circus. So supposedly stopping the three-ring circus requires looking carefully at the details. Mouse says, I will touch, and did I mention scrutiny is the key word? So Mouse says, I will touch everything with my whiskers in order to know it. All right, and so this is when I'm getting overwhelmed. This is, I think, part of it because I feel the obligation. When I get stressed, I feel the obligation, like when I have 70 emails in my inbox, I feel like I have to carefully address each one. Paradoxically, this is both a great power and a great weakness. It is good medicine to see up close. It is good medicine to pay attention to detail, but it is bad medicine to chew every little thing to pieces. And I wouldn't say that, but I do feel a strong obligation to address each one carefully, but certainly not to chew it to pieces. Most things I get in my work, it's not possible to do that with, thankfully, or I might be guilty of that. Mouse has many predatory enemies, including birds, snakes, and cats. Since mouse is food for many, it has a highly developed sense of danger at every turn. So-called civilization is a highly complex set of components, which calls for more and more organizational skills and scrutiny to detail every year. Mouse is a powerful medicine to have in these modern times. Things that might appear insignificant to others take on enormous importance to mouse. Mouse people anger many other medicine types because they appear to be nitpickers. Mouse people will spot the lint on your coat, even if it matches in color. I'm actually not that kind of a person. I would not notice that sort of thing. But I've already seen up here how this kind of applies to my situation. But just to show the scope and how these work, I'm definitely going to continue here. They will try to convince you that the simplest task is fraught with difficulty. They are fixated on methodology. Now that I can be guilty of that. It's like, well, how are we going to do this? And if the way we're doing it starts to break down, then I need to have a different structure to fit things into. They sort and organize and file away for later use. There is that too. I can't just let it hang out in my inbox. I have to know where it could be found again later. They may seem like they are hoarding, but this is the farthest thing from Mouse's mind. They are merely putting everything in order so that they will be able to explore it more carefully at a later date. In my work situation, it's more accountability. Eventually, something could go wrong, and I will have to find that again. I will be responsible for what was said to me and what I did as a result. uh, the chiefs tell us that without Maus, there would be no systematization of knowledge. Maus ended Renaissance man and hearkened the age of specialization. Maus knew from the very beginning that there is always more to learn. One can always delve deeper and deeper and deeper. It's interesting. I can see both that aspect, but I can also see how I might become stressed at work because this function is not natural to me. I'm more of a stand back. So it's an interesting, what comes up for me most often in these cards is eagle, hawk, other more big picture kinds of animals, whale, not Maus does come up on occasion, but it makes me see that maybe the nature of my work and what it demands of me may not be very natural to me, and that is part of the stress that I start to experience. Also, my memory issues make this ability critical for my job, so I do rely very heavily on Maus. I do, for my current work. All right. If your personal medicine is Maus, you may be fearful of life, but very well organized, with a compartment for everything. I don't think of myself as fearful of life, but hey, maybe what I just expressed, fearful of the repercussions of not doing my work properly. So how about that? You should try to see a larger picture than the one staring you in the face. Develop largesse of spirit. Try to become aware of the great dance of life. Realize that even though you may be sitting in Los Angeles, there is also a New York, a moon, a solar system, a galaxy, and an infinite universe. Jump high, little friend, you will glimpse the sacred mountain. I think this is also a picture of the people that I deal with. Now that I think about it, in my workplace, and that can make it quite difficult. But we're all trying to get, there are reasons for the details in the work that I do, and I'm always grateful when people honor that and do their part and see the need for it. So, but it's proving an interesting reading. If Maus is in your card spread, its medicine is telling you to scrutinize. So there's all of that story that you've just got, and there's always this kind of last paragraph that's a summary. And so sometimes when it's like, all right, I don't want to read all of that, just give me the straight poop right now, I skip that larger reading and I come directly to this paragraph here for a quicker read. And this is a deck where, again, when I was using it more frequently, I could easily remember the keywords and have a sense of what that card was about. But I pretty much always come for the story. I always come back to this book and read about it. So I would say for me, it's a book, or it's a deck that is guidebook dependent for the most part. Again, when you get to know it, you're like, okay, well, I get, I might have 3 to 5 things about hawk or eagle or whale or dolphin that I particularly remember from the whole story, and it could be worthwhile for myself and others to mark what you feel are the most relevant parts of the story. There are some of the stories in this book that I cannot relate to. It's like, what are they talking about? Actually, I think the thing with whale is that way. So the stories behind it, it's very opaque to me. But I can always come to this paragraph, and this paragraph is much more practical and down to earth and straightforward. If mouse is in your card spread, its medicine is telling you to scrutinize. Look at yourself and others carefully. Maybe that big hunk of cheese is sitting on a trigger that will spring a deadly trap. Maybe the cat is in the pantry waiting for you. Maybe someone to whom you have delegated authority, such as a doctor, a lawyer, or even a plumber, is not doing the job faithfully. The message is to see what is right before your eyes and to take action accordingly. So to me, it's in some ways, it's validating that I need to take things one at a time, even when I've got 70, and kind of verify stuff and then move on. But I think it's also an acknowledgement that that is a crazy making situation when I've got, it's like I need to be mouse, but I'm being overloaded with things that require this mousy energy. And that is what's creating my overwhelm. And it might be that, that I need to just step back, remember that there's a larger picture here and don't get bogged down in the details. So that's probably the message of the contrary. So let's take a look at this. Mouse in the contrary position may be telling you that you are spending too much time with matters of great consequence when you should be paying a traffic ticket or sweeping the Hogan. I can see some of that in my private life, but not in my work life right now. You may have let yourself become slovenly. Again, definitely in my private life, but not in my work life. You may have developed a disdain for authority or order. I would say no, trying not to anyway. You may be procrastinating about something that needs immediate attention. Bring mouse medicine to your life's chaos and you will soon have everything tidy and shipshape. Another message of mouse reversed, and there's often more than one perspective given in these contraries. Another message of mouse reversed may be that you are pipe dreaming about your own importance in life. Okay, that could be. Maybe the things I'm doing are not that big a deal, and I can just let some of them, I don't know, wait until I get to number 74. Are you wondering why you have not been nominated for the Academy Awards? No, I am not expecting any recognition. You can't be recognized if you are not taking care of life's details and walking in humility. Remember that all good things come to those willing to work toward wholeness. Little mouse needs to see the big picture, but only assimilate the information the picture gives a little at a time. And I think that's the key message for me here, is that I get overwhelmed. I open my inbox, and when I'm over maybe 30, my brain just flatlines. It just flatlines. How am I going to deal with all that? And, in the time allowed, and then there's all this whole list of other things I should be doing instead of hanging out answering emails. And so this is saying just take it one email at a time and ignore the fact that there's so many. And I did find a way of dealing with that by that whole that sense of there just being too much that I could possibly do by putting some emails in a particular folder to be dealt with after the priorities. Oh, Lordy. Expansiveness can be overwhelming if you forget to take it step by step. Confusion is a product of too much too soon. So true. Slow down and write the contrary medicine. Stop chasing your tail and being confused by the maze and start observing the details of your present pathway. So yeah, it really hit some of the issues right on the head, and it was interesting in that it gave kind of both the positive and the negative, and it gave me a very interesting perspective on the nature of my work and how it can be inherently crazy making for me. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can hear that, but we just had a bumbly, crumbly thunder that boomed the ground and vibrated the table. Anyway, maybe that's an acknowledgement from the thunder beings that yes, it's correct, and I would say that my mouse medicine is good for this job in some ways, but that it definitely is what is crazy making, and when I'm given too much to do. So there we have it. A review and a single reading from the medicine cards, which have been my friends. They have been my friends for a long time. I don't know if it was my 20s, my early 30s. I've had this deck for a long time. What is the and you know, I can really turn to this deck pretty much about anything. I do a 5-card spread usually. 1988 is the copyright in this particular book. I don't think I got it in 1988. If I did, I've had it a really, really long time. But there are some really useful, I found their spreads actually quite useful in here. At least that Sun Lodge spread, the butterfly spread, which is about change, and the pathway spread. I even have jotted in here the last time I did them. There's a 9 totem animals spread, totem animals for different areas of your life, and I've done that on occasion. I think for that I tended to pick the cards. Instead of drawing from the deck, I went through the deck and I selected them. You know, hawk is my east animal, eagle is my south animal. So almost more intention setting. And just identification, recognizing those animals as reflecting that particular aspect of my life. All right. So, yep, calling it done. There's my review of the medicine cards. There is another, I did another video about this that had to do with numerology. So in other words, mouse is 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. And all of the animals that have the numerology of 2 have this at the bottom of their shield. Something along those lines. So I will put that up as one of the end screen elements, that other video that I did about numerology in the medicine cards. All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.